Hello, this is Sam Simon, also known as Dementia Man, and this is my blog for the first week of November, though it's coming out on November 2nd. Um, and November is the National Family Caregiver Month, and I'm going to talk a bit about that um, this time, but we're also ending. Um, the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I live in both sides of all of that. Plus, big news, big news. The book is coming out in November, the Dementia Man book. So there's a lot of information, but I'm going to try to keep this concise because I know people don't have a lot of time to listen to these things. So I'm going to keep it to under 5 minutes if I can. But there is a lot of stuff going on. But I want to share some resources. First of all, just to bring to the conclusion the National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Um, we continue to, in some ways, celebrate all the advances in breast cancer treatment, breast cancer um, services um, for people with, but mainly the women who have um, breast cancer. The biggest thing that I guess comes to my mind is that there is now and has been for a few years, I mentioned it before, breast cancer navigators that are eligible for Medicare coverage. I know that when we started going through it, even though Susan's mother had been through breast cancer, when you're in these areas, it's the same thing that happened to me when I was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. We we are like floating in a sea of confusion and not uncertainty, and we're looking everywhere. And both in any major illness, there's always a risk of um, less than reliable information, homemade remedies, and that sort of thing. So having a navigator who can help give you reliable information, answer a lot of your questions. We will never be the first person going through any of these diseases. So just be aware of that, particularly in breast cancer awareness. If you're in the era where you're on Medicare, you can get coverage for that. So now into um, this next month, which is National Family Caregiver Month. Now, we, the Simons, Sam Simon and my wife, Susan, have each had our turn in the role of family caregiver. I spend a lot of my time in my blogs during November with my book and play The Actual Dance. You can go to theactualdance.com and scroll through some of the blogs there to get some more information. But I'm going to today link to two major resources around National Family Caregiver Month 2025. And there are some really great places. I am going to include a nonprofit and then the federal government's um, um, blog post or website that has got resources and link to that as well. And in fact, I'm going to share my screen here um, for each one. And I'm going to start with something in Plug into Care. Hold on a sec. This is National Family, the Caregiver Action Network. And I'm really excited about them. They're a nonprofit. They've got all this material, and it's the National Family Caregiving, the Caregiver Action Network, caregiveractionnetwork.org. I'm not sure if you can see up the top there the website, and but by going to the caregiveraction.org/NFC 2025, but you can see that they have all sorts of material, and you can. What I love is it says connected to trusted resources by topic. And that is so important. As you've heard me over the time, so easy to get fraudsters and unreliable information. So that is one. So I'm going to switch to another resource, and let's see if I can do it on top. Okay, this is the government resource. And this is from the ACL, the Administration for Community Living. Now, I'm not showing the very, very top of this because there's some political information, and I will warn you that, much to my regret, there is a political statement from the US government on that top, but this is good information. And it gives you access to other resources. And I think, again, for so many people, it's so hard to go through this journey with and I've stopped sharing, a disease, and as the caregiver in particular. We'll have Susan on next week, who is my family caregiver. And she can attest to how challenging it can be, and particularly, as you've heard me say before, in the area of cognitive issues, compared to, as I said before, when Susan was sick and I was her caregiver, well, she was always Susan. I sometimes be a very different Sam than I ever used to be. And it frustrates me no end. And I work at it, but it is disease prompted and related. Okay. And then I said 5 minutes. I'm probably beyond that already, but I hope not, because I've got one more thing to share. All right. I'm trying to make sure it's being shared. There it is. Coming out this month. You'll hear more news about it. It's not anywhere in those places just yet, but it's going to be. You can get it anywhere, plus on Amazon. The book, and we'll have a particular Zoom on that probably later in the month, but just wanted you to know that the book is coming out. And so you can read about it, hear about it, and we'll hopefully be around someplace where you live to have a book signing if it's something you want. But I hope that this is something you could have on your bookshelf, so there could be not just my story, but it is that, and it is that. It's also something that has helpful information and a positive story of a beautiful life with this as we go through these very challenging times in life occasionally. Not occasionally, we'll all get older, we all may face something like this. And I hope to give a vision of doing that meaningfully and with love. So with that, welcome to National Family Caregivers Month and the release of Dementia Man Book Month. And we'll see you all next week.